Some moments in history are so profound they change the world forever. And some films are so powerful they change how we see those moments. Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer is one such film. It didn't just tell a story, it fractured our idea of what a cinematic epic could be. Join us as we will explore the 5 ways this film redefined the modern epic, revealing a new language of cinematic storytelling. Number 5, the epic of the interior. An epic traditionally sprawls across vast landscapes and battlefields. It is a story of external conquest. But Oppenheimer turns the camera inward. Its true landscape is the mind of one man. The battles are fought not with armies, but with ideas, with quantum physics, with the crushing weight of moral calculus. Nolan presents the birth of the atomic age as a psychological thriller. The suspense isn't whether the bomb will be built, but what building it will do to the souls of its creators. The film's true climax isn't the explosion in the desert, but the silent, internal detonation of guilt and consequence that echoes through the rest of Oppenheimer's life. It proved that the most terrifying space to explore is the one behind a person's eyes. Number 4, the weaponization of time. Christopher Nolan is a master of chronological architecture. But in Oppenheimer, his use of time becomes more than a narrative device. It becomes a theme. The film operates on 2 main tracks: the color sequence, fission, showing Oppenheimer's rise, and the black and white fusion, detailing Lewis Strauss's subsequent political machinations. This isn't just clever storytelling, it reflects the very nature of Oppenheimer's creation: fission and fusion. 2 processes, one destructive outcome. The past is constantly colliding with the future, and memory is relitigated in stuffy hearing rooms. The film argues that history is not a straight line, but a chain reaction where a single moment can radiate forward and backward, poisoning everything it touches. Time itself is rendered unstable, a constant ticking countdown to a future that has already been decided. Number 3, dialogue as action. Traditional epics rely on spectacle. Chariot races, sword fights, grand battles. In Oppenheimer, the most explosive scenes are conversations. Words are weapons. A theoretical physics discussion becomes a high-stakes heist. A security hearing transforms into a brutal interrogation, a systematic dismantling of a man's reputation. Nolan strips away the conventional action, forcing us to lean in and listen. He trusts the audience to understand that the equations being scrawled on a chalkboard carry more weight than any cannonball. The tension is built through intellectual sparring and political maneuvering. The real conflict is the war of ideas, proving that a conversation, when filmed with enough intensity and consequence, can be more gripping than any physical fight. The epic was no longer about what men do, but what they say. Number 2, the silent scream of sound. In a film about the loudest explosion in human history, the most powerful moments are often silent. The sound design of Oppenheimer is a masterclass in psychological warfare. Ludwig Göransson's score is not just music, it is the sound of anxiety, a relentless violin that scratches at the nerves. It's the constant rhythmic stomping that feels less like celebration and more like the marching of doom. But the masterstroke is the Trinity test itself. After 3 hours of escalating tension, the explosion is met with absolute, deafening silence. We see the horrifying, beautiful fire, but we hear nothing. In that quiet, Nolan forces us to confront the abyss. The sound is not the blast, but the collective gasp of humanity, the quiet horror of what we have just become. It is an epic defined not by its noise, but by the terrifying emptiness it leaves behind. Number 1, the ambiguous protagonist. Epics need heroes. Alexander the Great, Lawrence of Arabia, larger-than-life figures we are meant to admire. J. Robert Oppenheimer is not a hero, nor is he a simple villain. He is a paradox, a charismatic genius who is also arrogant, naive, and haunted. The film refuses to give us a simple verdict. It presents the man in all his fractured complexity. We see his ambition, his brilliance, his regret. We are invited to admire his mind but question his choices. By the end, we are left in the same room as him, staring into the fire, unable to look away. This is the final redefinition. The modern epic is no longer about celebrating great men, but about confronting the uncomfortable legacy of powerful ones. The hero is replaced by a question mark, leaving the judgment not to the film, but to us. The stories we tell about our past shape our future. They can be tales of triumph, or they can be warnings. Oppenheimer chose to be a warning. It broke the mold of the epic, not for the sake of innovation, but because the story of the atomic bomb could not be told in any other way. It is a film that doesn't offer answers or comfort. It simply holds up a mirror to a moment when humanity gained the power to destroy itself, and asks us to look. The truth doesn't disappear. It simply hides in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to begin its chain reaction. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing for more.